state-of-the-art, high-cost medical equipment. That is what Kenya got for 38 billion shillings on a 7-year lease period. It's now 2 years into the lease, and some of that equipment is still gathering dust.
It should not have been like a parachute project landing in one go.
The equipment was put out there before the human capital was actually trained.
The question therefore begs, why are we paying for maintenance of equipment that actually has not even been unpacked in some cases? You know?
Do you feel that it has value for money?
Completely. We've saved lives.
A noble idea, no doubt, because Anthony Masharia is today alive and well, having accessed neurosurgical and intensive care unit services at his home county of Embu, moments after his skull was cracked when his motorbike collided with a speeding lorry.
I had to remove a part of his skull bone and preserve it under his abdomen. We find this to be a better method of preserving the bone because the bone will be alive.
He spent 9 days in the ICU.
ICU is working here in Embu. Before, it was only Kenyatta. So you can imagine this patient. If you go to Kenyatta now, the beds are full. So where would these patients be now?
Across the room in the 6-bed ICU facility, another family celebrates a miracle. Joki, a mother of 5, suffered a near-fatal blow from a mentally challenged person on the street.
Mabadiliko ya sana na Uhuru ametusaidia ametuletea hii ICU huku Embu juu kitambo sijui kama huyu alikuwa ametuacha kitambo.
Kama angekuwa Ken angekuwa amekufa.
Tunashukuru.
In Isiolo, former Isiolo MP Hassan Wako's family knows only too well how fragile life was in this part of the country until just recently.
If you get kidney ailment and now it fails, then the doctors will tell you nothing much can be done, go home. And this go home means go home and die. This situation has changed completely. We are on dialysis machine over the last 4 years.
2 months ago, they got another big relief. Their 6-hour journey to the city twice a week for his wife's dialysis was cut down to just about 10 minutes when Isiolo Level 5 Hospital started offering renal services.
Kwanza Nairobi mimi nachokaga sana nikienda kufika nyumbani basi so 2 days tamuka.
Now it is here. In fact, I'm very new hospital. Yes, just pay the ticket, 200 shillings there, 200 back. That's all.
Ta Nairobi huko hospitali unajua anatakikana ukuje asubuhi sana saa 12 kwa vile watu ni wengi sana. Hapa watu si wengi na tunakujaga siku tofauti.
Critics, however, believe these stories of despair turned into hope only represent a fraction of the successes the leased medical equipment was intended to achieve.
The planning of this equipment, it was like putting the cart before the horse, whereby training should have happened before these equipments arrived.
Kama radiologist, unakuta Kenya mzima radiologists ni wachache sana. Sasa hata wakati tuna advertise kwa newspaper ili watu wa apply, unakuta hakuna mtu ame-apply.
The provider of the equipment is actually the one responsible for training.
But what they didn't tell the government is that they are not going to be training health workers. They are going to be training those technicians. And then they found out that those technicians also do not exist. So there's actually no one to train. So they came and dumped those machines there and left.
Governor Mohamed Kuti chairs the Health Committee of the Council of Governors. He says his counterparts across the 47 counties have reported inability to utilize all leased medical equipment at one go, as anticipated in the deal.
This is a scenario where very sophisticated business people made a good deal with the government.
5 suppliers: General Electric from the USA, Philips from the Netherlands, Belco SRL from Italy, Esteem from India, and Mindray Biomedical of China, clinched the deal to ship digital anesthetic machines and assorted modern theatre equipment, digital sterilization equipment, and modern surgical sets, kidney dialysis equipment, intensive care unit equipment, high dependency unit equipment, digital x-ray systems, and digital mammography units for 2 hospitals in each of the 47 counties.
I think the rush to make the money took the better part of it. We could have just gone, according to the ability to absorb, the ability to utilize, the ability to create space for those equipments, that should have, we could have gone slowly, and that project could be ongoing right now rather than boom, 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 and then bring the money now every month,
Collectively, counties have to remit close to 5 billion shillings every year in leasing fees.
This is Mwananchi's money. I mean, these machines should have been held with the people there, with the suppliers, and only be delivered when we are ready to use. Then when the clock starts ticking, when the machine starts working. But now the clock has ticked 2 years ago, and it has gone round, and it's ticking for the businessman. It's not ticking for the Mwananchi.
It's a bag of mixed fortunes. For Embu County, which pays 52 million shillings every year for the lease, the deal appears to make perfect sense.
As a county, we would not have got money automatically to buy the equipment at a go. And we are paying as we are using it, which is contrary to building up a bulk of money by the equipment when people are suffering. I would say the cost of human being is so much high that we cannot equate 52 million with the life of a person.
Having been a provincial hospital, Embu Level 5 had the advantage of better developed infrastructure to absorb the equipment. In Isiolo, the renal machines stayed idle for 2 years, until 2 months ago when the renal nurse, who was sent for training, returned.
Again, I say 2 years is regrettable, but the investment and the impact far outweighs the gaps which have been identified.
In fact, we got oversupply, I think, as far as I'm concerned. Because even right now, my renal machines just took up my mental unit, which I built for my mentally unstable patients. It's that much unpreparedness.
That Kenya's struggling health system badly needed such equipment is not in doubt, but it's now evident that it would have been prudent to hasten slowly.
The very reason, again, we are bringing these specialized doctors and medical workers is so that we are able to utilize all these equipment. When we have brought in the specialized experts from Cuba, they will need to be serving not a specific facility, but a cluster of facilities and a cluster of counties.
Ironically, the lease period is shrinking as counties enhance capacity to utilize the equipment.
Had we figured out the issue of leveraging on IT by the time we are making these other investments, would have perhaps moved to 100% utilization or like that. But what has happened is now we have invested in IT, and therefore, like the case you mentioned of radiology, we'll be having a data center centralized in Kenyatta Hospital, where we are going to have all the x-rays being relayed there and interpretation being done there, and we relay back the results to the hospitals across the country.
Meanwhile, the clock ticks away. 5 years now remain before the lease expires.
After 7 years, I think it is said to be $0.
We have 2 options. One is to renegotiate at a lower investment rate that is provided for in the contract. And number 2, it is to decide we don't require the facility, which is another option as well, and call it off.
It's the paradox of a costly noble idea. Sylvia Chebet, Citizen TV.